Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my story as hidden identity? I am a man and I do have a construction company. And this happened a year ago. The people that had hired me, that gave me this contract to build a shop for them at a shopping complex, they then told me that I was supposed to go and visit one of their relatives, and this I did at night. When I went there, that was when the relatives of those people, because they are in Europe, they are in the UK. So then they told me that there was something that they wanted to show me first. So then they took out this other red garment and they put it on the table. After they had placed it on the table, then they unwrapped, and I saw that inside the red garment there was a hand that was there. It was a human hand, and I don't know if that person had been recently murdered or if there was a body that was lying at a mortuary and then the hand was cut off. I don't know. So then they took it back and they told me what was supposed to be done. They said that since they were other people for pest control that had came to dig up a big hole before we had started digging the foundation of that shop that we wanted to build. So they wanted me to accompany them so that they can go and put that human hand in there. They did as they had told me, and we went and then we put that hand inside the big hole. And after that, they told me that I was not supposed to tell the guys that I was working with that this was what they had done. And the people that I was working for, they gave me more money than we had agreed upon. And then they also told me that the money that they were going to send to me, they wanted me to buy a car, in which I bought a car last year with the money that those people sent to me. And as for this shop, I can't tell you where exactly this shop is at, but whenever I pass through that shop, the shop is always flooded with people that will be buying a lot of stuff. So I think that they did rituals so that they can have a lot of customers coming to their shop. This is my own secret. When you post my story, tell me. I will follow in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you have ever worked somewhere and you saw things that were weird, you can come to our inbox and you can share with us your own side of the story. And to those that also want to have interpretation of dreams, there is someone who said that they can be able to do that. So you can also send a message through our Facebook as well. Then there is another message that I want to share with you. The message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? I am being haunted by a man from DRC that we killed in cold blood, but this happened during the times of war. I fought in the DRC. It was a war, if you remember the Congo War. It was between around 1998 to 2003. It was Operation Sovereign Legitimacy, and the mission that took us there, even though it was war, but our mission, we were sent to protect minerals, rich areas, and strategic mines. And these mines, they belonged to a lot of politicians. Do you know that most of the politicians, they own mines in the DRC? That was why we were there in the first place. So as for us, we were stationed around Mbujimai, Lubumbashi, Katanga, and most of the strongholds where Kabila's mines were. If you used to remember, the old president, the one that was assassinated. So when I went there to fight in the war, I don't know why I was chosen. Maybe it was because I had also fought during the wars of liberation when we finally got independence as a nation. I was then selected to be part of a torture squad. So when I was part of that torture squad, then that was when I started to witness a lot of horrific things that were being done to people, those that were known to be rebels and those that had been caught. The way that they were tortured, you will end up not even feeling as if you are a human anymore. You will lose your humanity because of the way that these people were being tortured. So we were told that if rebel takes over, then it means that these mines, they were going to be taken over by the rebels. Therefore, some of these big politicians, they were going to lose their minds, so they did not want that to happen. And during the times of war, there are other things that people do not want to talk about. War, it is not a good thing, because during war there are a lot of torture squads. In order for you to gather intel, someone has to be tortured, and each and every mission, it has a dark side. And I was part of a section that I'll call section 5, where we used to interrogate, and then we had to extract intelligence. And most of the soldiers, once I say interrogation and intelligence extraction, a soldier know it as a torture squad. So if you are assigned them, then they consider you to be someone that is hard. You do not feel pain for another person. When someone is screaming in pain, you don't feel nothing. I did not volunteer, by the way. I was chosen. So our job was very simple. We were supposed to extract information from suspected rebels, to break them and to make them talk. So we were supposed to interview prisoners of war, and these prisoners, we were staying close to this other mine in Kasai province. And there we used to torture people, because once we tortured you and we see that you are dead, then we could even throw you in any of the mine shaft. And at our base where we were staying, there was an old well that had dried up. It had no water. That is where we used to throw the bodies in there. So much horrific stuff has happened in the DRC. So there were methods that we were using, like waterboarding, hanging prisoners upside down so that all your blood can rush to your head. We used to beat prisoners underneath their feet and to choke them with electricity and to deprive you of sleep, put you in a position whereby when you try to sleep, we play loud music. We put lights that are very bright directly in your face, such that you won't be able to sleep, starve you until you crave for food and you cry for food, and we say, let us have an exchange, give us the information, and we give you a little bit so that you can eat, and to torment you, physically beating you up. So when everything went wrong on that day, it was around 7 p.m. we captured a man near Mbuji Mai Kananga Road. This man, he was riding on his motorcycle because he had a machete and he had a gun. We then arrested him. He was young and he was also carrying a bag of cassava. We then stopped him and we wanted to do a normal search, but we wanted to kidnap some rebels on that night, because these rebels, some of them, we used to kidnap them and then we would take them to our base where we used to torture them. So he claimed that he was just a normal villager going on his way to his home, but one of our Congolese informants that we used to move around with said this one is a rebel scout, he is working for the Rwandans. And then we were told that we were supposed to bring him to section 5. That was where the torturing used to happen. We were supposed to make him talk. That night we tortured him for nearly 5 hours. He was screaming, begging, we were choking him. and he kept on saying that I am not a soldier. I am not a soldier. But to us, if you were said you are a rebel, then it meant that you are a rebel. Then I was then told that I was supposed to increase the pressure because there was intel that had to be gathered on that night, and it was needed by those that were high up our rank before morning. I looked at the man, and this is what I used to do. And this is what I used to do at all the times. After torturing you, if I was given then the platform to increase the pressure, I would come to you and then I would tell you that it is time for you to tell me everything that you know, because I am ready to kill you. I was not afraid to end anyone's life if they refuse to give us the information that we wanted from you. I could go all out and I could even end up killing you. So this man, he did not answer me, he did not do anything. He kept on crying and he was swollen all over. So I got angry and mad at him. That was when I started to punch him. I punched him and I punched him. So I ended up punching him on his neck area, and I heard that there was something that had broken. After that, that was when we realized that the man was no longer breathing. We used to have an oxygen breathing machine. If you would collapse after we would have tortured you for a very long time, we would hook you up to an oxygen machine so that we can revive you. When we see that you have regained your conscience, then we will start to question you again. And if you do not give us the information, we will beat you up until you are about to die, hook you up again to the oxygen machine until you would have given you the information. War is dirty. You cannot fight war saying that you are there to fight the war and you won't interrogate anyone. You won't be able to do that. Every nation that has gone to war, they end up doing this, using the same tactics like we were using. So then this man, when we realized that he had passed away, that was when we collected his body, we drove, and then we went into the bush where we left his body there. So after the war, I forgot about everything and then I returned back. But what happened was that 2 days later, we had intelligence that confirmed that this man, he was an innocent man. He was actually a fisherman, and he was not even he was a nobody in the war. We had tortured the wrong man and we had killed him for nothing, because we heard that there was an informant for the rebels that would be riding a motorcycle and he would be having an AK-47, a machete. And when we found this young man, we thought that this was him. That was why we grabbed him and we took him to our base. So since we had already dumped his body in the bushes, we did not even worry about him, because this was not the first and he was not going to be the last. So the war in DRC, it never ends. Zim finally gave up and it brought its soldiers back home because of the lot of soldiers that had been dying. When we returned back home, there was one day when I was sitting outside underneath the shade of a tree and I was just daydreaming. That was when I saw him. He was standing right in front of me. His face was swollen up, and then he said to me, "You cannot hide from me." When I woke up, my brother, I even heard someone calling my surname, Moyo. I heard that man calling and whispering my surname. So I then rushed to this other Malawian man. We also fought in the wars of liberation together. He was the one that used to assist us with the charms so that we won't get caught by the Rhodesians, the white soldiers. So this man, he was a good friend of mine. I went to him and I told him the truth that had happened when I was in DRC, that I had too much blood on my hands. So the man then said, "I want you to look for a young child that is between 2 years to 3 years, and I want you to bring him to me so that we can cleanse you." But I did not know that the ritual that we were about to perform, everything that I had done, all of my sins that I had committed, they were going to be placed on this young boy who was innocent. So in our village, there was one young boy. He was about 2.5 years at that time. He was the one that I could go with wherever I wanted to go to, because I would give him sweets, I would give him knickknacks, and his parents, they did not mind if I would collect him and say that I want to go with him somewhere. And he liked me quite a lot. He would say, "Grandpa, I want to go with you." So on that day, when I wanted to visit my friend, the Malawian traditional healer, I collected him and I said, "Let us go to the shops. I want to buy you some lollipops, some knickknacks." He then agreed. We then went and I bought the lollipops, including the knickknacks. Then I said, "There is somewhere where I want to go with you, but I do not want you to tell your parents that we have gone to visit my friend. Otherwise, I will never give you money ever again." He then said, "I'm not going to say anything. Let us go," because I had told him that my friend also had more money that he was going to give to him. So this was a very young boy who had no understanding how the world operates. He then accompanied me to go and see my friend. When we arrived there, that was when I found out that my friend had already slaughtered some white chickens, and he had a black chicken that he was holding, and he was waiting for us. And then that was when he said, "I want you to give some money to this young man." So then I took the money that I had and I gave it to that boy, only 2.5 years, and I said to him, "All the sins that I committed when I went to DRC, all those sins, I am going to sell them to you. Do you agree?" He then said that he accepted the money, and he accepted the money. Then that was when the traditional healer then said, "I want you to give him this black chicken." I then took the black chicken from the traditional healer, and then I said, "All of my sins, I have placed them into this black chicken. They now represent all the sins that I have committed and all the blood that I have spilled to the ground. And on this very day, may this chicken be a representation of me handing over all of my sins to you. Do you accept, my son?" And then he said, "I accept." He then took that chicken, and the traditional healer then took the chicken from him. I was then told to look for an old coin that I was supposed to place on any grave, as long as it was not the grave of someone that I am related to by blood. After that, that was when I was told that the boy had to wash me with the blood of the chickens that had been slaughtered, as well as eggs were taken, and those eggs were mixed with fresh milk. And then the boy started to wash my hands. I was told to drink the blood and to drink the eggs that were mixed with the fresh milk, and after that we then returned back home. I threw the coin on top of a grave of someone from our village who had recently passed away, and life continued. This boy is all grown up right now. So this young man, he is someone that is mentally ill. He is a madman, and most of the time he comes to my house as if he knows that I am the one who caused him to run mad. And he is not a violent person. All that he do is that he moves from one house to another begging for food. That is how mad he is. And most of the times he comes to my house and he spends the whole day in his madness at my house. Then in the evening he will say that he wants to go back to his parents. So I am asking for any traditional healer that can assist me, because as for my friend, he has since gone to Malawi. I once went to Mount Darwin, and then that traditional healer, the way that he wanted me to break this curse, he wanted me to accept all the sins that I committed back. I can't do that. I have already washed away the blood that I had on my hands. I have no intentions to accept anything like that. I can't accept those conditions. I still want to live a good life, and I do not want my bloodline to be tainted with the sins that I committed. But at the same time, I want to release this young man from this terrible curse that he is carrying. And he has no idea that he has been carrying this curse ever since he was only 2.5 years old. So if you know anyone that you can trust, if you know anyone that can assist me in this quest that I am about to take to remove this curse from this young boy, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things they do happen in this world. So our brother is saying that if you see a country sending its soldiers to the DRC, in most cases they're not going there to fight for the people, but you were saying that a lot of politicians, they own mines in the DRC. So he said that when the army from Zim also went to Zim, they did not go there to assist the people to take back the country, but they went there to protect the mines that belong to the rich and those that are heavily involved in politics. And he said that the war in the DRC will never end because of that. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us talk with him in the comment section. So it means that out there is someone that is running mad, not because they stole something, but because when they were young, they were made to perform a ritual that they never understood, and now they are suffering. Let us talk about this in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.